It's the Christmas rush. Two old friends are in New York City, last-minute shopping, waiting to cross Fifth Avenue. Even the pedestrian traffic on the sidewalk is a mess. I hate this time of year, one says to the other. It's ridiculous. You can't even walk where you have to go. Each year it's the same thing. This city is a nightmare at Christmas. Something's got to be done. Her friend is more pensive, less harried. It's astounding. Just think, centuries ago, a baby was born in an out-of-the-way town halfway around the world from here. The parents had nothing except each other and their newborn. 2,000 years later, the memory of that infant creates a monster traffic jam on one of the most sophisticated streets in one of the biggest cities on the face of the earth. And this irritates you? It fascinates me. Beginning today, as the last candle on our Advent wreath shines brightly, each of us has two options, but only one choice: irritation or fascination. While the Advent story is essentially the same, Matthew tells it from Joseph's vantage point, Luke from Mary's. But in both Gospels, the decision remains the same. What does Christmas bring? Irritation or fascination? The choice is less difficult if we pause for a moment and ponder what really happened so long ago. In Luke's narrative, two women, one very young, the other advanced in years, are both surprised by the Holy Spirit. At a moment in time, in an obscure village, they meet and embrace. The moment Elizabeth hears Mary's voice, the babe in her womb leaps for joy. More than likely, Mary experienced the same sensation. We can imagine Mary, the younger of the two, hastening from Galilee to Judea on foot to help her cousin, coping with the challenges of pregnancy in her old age. We see Elizabeth as the wise woman, the elder mentor, who wraps the bewildered teenage mother-to-be in the warmth of her tender embrace, offering Mary strength and security in her moment of near total bewilderment. The reality of God's surprise is a mystery to both women. It doesn't irritate them, but they had to be fascinated by God's curious timing. How much easier it would have been for Elizabeth if her child was conceived at an earlier age, when her body was more limber and supple. How much easier it would have been for Mary had her child arrived after her marriage to Joseph. They lived in a different culture in which a woman was esteemed for the male children she bore. More than likely, through her adult life, Elizabeth endured sly glances and comments less than kind, as some wondered out loud, "She's barren. Why is God punishing her?" Likewise, in Mary's little town of Nazareth, once her condition was obvious, you can bet the gossip started to fly. Elizabeth, who had been totally faithful to God all her life, despite the suffering she endured, is the perfect companion for Mary. She helps her to trust even more deeply in the mysterious ways of God as she deals with her many challenges, saying yes to an angel whose message she failed to understand wasn't easy, but her faith ran deep, and so did her trust. As our Advent days dwindle down to a numbered few, as they did for the two old friends caught in the rush of the season, as we prepare for Christmas 2011, each of us has the same two options they did: irritation or fascination. Our decision can be made not easy but less difficult if during this next week we pause and ponder, if only for a moment, not the traffic, but the truth. What really did happen 2,000 years ago in that little town of Bethlehem, in the still of the night, when the tiny cry of a newborn could be heard coming from a stable near a little inn with a sign on the door that said it all: no vacancy. May the one who is to come help each of us to see beyond the tinsel on the tree, uncover the beauty beneath the surface of things, and find the reality of divinity within our own fragility. Advent is a puzzlement, but not if we think about it seriously. Advent is an embarrassment, but only if we allow it to be.